Hey guys, I'm Keith Warren. Today is Thursday, the 23rd of June, 2016, and welcome to another episode of Homeless in Titusville. And today I am being joined by, what's your name, sir?
Jason Andrews Self.
Jason Andrews Self. And how old are you?
42.
You're 42 years old. And how long have you been homeless?
Off and on for 9 years.
9 years, wow. It's a very long time. Do you live here in Titusville, or where have you mostly spent your time as being homeless?
Ashville, North Carolina.
Asheville.
Mostly.
And are you looking to make a life here in Titusville, or what are you trying to do?
Possibly. I'm open to the prospects. Still really want to go home too. So I've been was down in Miami and working my way back up, and been around Brevard County for 2.5 months now.
So what's at home? Do you have wife, kids, brother, sister?
No, mother and sister are down in the Charlotte area, and I've been in Ashville since 2002, so I've got a lot of friends. There's plenty of work there. There's lots of facilities, lots of people that help out, lots of organizations that help. There's a good way of life there.
And what kind of work experience do you have?
Carpentry, landscape, manufacturing, mostly manual labor.
So you're looking for that kind of work now?
Yes.
So if somebody had a job like that and they got in contact with me and said, hey, we could really use a guy to lay some tile or do some carpentry or some light construction stuff.
Absolutely.
You would do that kind of work?
I would do it, and do it well.
And you said you don't have any children?
No children, never been married.
Okay. All right. And how about a criminal record? Are you a convicted felon?
Not a felon.
You're not a felon?
Not a felon. Got a list of misdemeanors about yay long.
Things like open container, things like that?
Yeah, open container, trespass, drug paraphernalia.
So minor stuff.
Minor things.
Okay.
Weed bowls.
Okay. And how long have you been here in the Titusville area?
Titusville, I get here, April, May. Popped up in May, was here for most of the month, went back to Melbourne for about a week, and then been between here and Mims for the last couple weeks.
And you said you wanted a job, you wanted to do some work. What's kind of holding you back from being able to work and have a job? Do you have an ID?
ID would be as far as getting something on the books. ID is the thing holding me back as far as that goes, and that would go toward setting down some roots and staying longer would be that type of job. Really more of an odd job kind of guy, a little day labor, gig here, gig there, because honestly I just don't need much.
And do you receive anything like food stamps or any money, welfare from the state or the government?
No.
And are you able to apply for food stamps without an ID, or how does that go? Do you even know?
Honestly, I do not know. In North Carolina, I had been able to, and then when it came time to recertify, they had requested that I get an ID in order to recertify. Florida, I just actually do not know.
Wow. Okay.
And haven't pursued it that much because I always thought I was kind of headed home, so it was just like going day by day, really.
So you're unsure of yourself whether you're going to make a life here in Titusville or not. Is that still kind of how you feel?
So little bit. Personally, I leave it to the Lord, and so I am where I am when I need to be there, and however long I need to be here, I'll be here.
And what did bring you down here?
Physically snowbirding. It's better to be on the streets of Florida than the streets of Asheville in December and January and February.
Right.
And so I've been fourth time down. I came down in 08, 09, and 10. And then I was on a caregiver's gig, had a really good friend, non-vet, and so I'd spent the last 4.5 years housed up and taking care of him. He passed in November on Veterans Day, and so I had nothing holding me there for right now. Came to Florida.
And where have you been sleeping at night? Where do you generally find somewhere to stay safe? Are you sleeping behind a gas station, in the park?
Mostly in the parks. There are lots of places. Like I keep to myself. I only need about 13 square feet, and you can find that all over the place. And where I go, you don't trash the place. You make it look like you go in at dark. You get up at crack of dawn. Nobody ever knows you're there.
So you try not to make a mess. You try not to be destructive.
Try to
respect people.
Try to leave it better than it was when I got there.
Okay.
And there's not much they can say about that.
Right.
A lot of times, people actually appreciate you more so, and be willing to do some things for you. Like, hey, I've noticed you've been staying here, and you take care of it. Like, you don't leave any trace, and people are a lot more receptive to letting you lay down and catch some sleep.
And how are you feeding yourself?
Mostly flying sign, cardboard, and Salvation Army here in town feeds twice a day. There's a few of the churches that feed. You have guys here in town or churches that go around looking for people to feed. And so time and place, I always get fed, get clothes, get everything that's needed. Usually end up fairly satisfied. I don't go hungry.
Okay. And do you have one of those things also known on the street as an Obama phone?
I do not have an Obama phone. You got to have food stamps. If you have food stamps, then you can automatically get the phone. Being as I'm not receiving any assistance, I do not have the Obama phone.
And how about health care? What would you do if you got sick?
I would go to the hospital and I would expect the best care they can possibly provide for me, being a citizen of this country.
So, but you're talking about you'd go to the emergency room.
I go to the emergency room.
Because you don't have a family doctor, because you don't have health insurance.
No. Haven't had insurance in well over a decade.
Wow. Well, what are some of the things that you need most right now? Is food really not? Well, you said you weren't going too hungry, that there had been a lot of help, What about clothing?
Clothing, I get plenty of clothing. There's lots of donation boxes around town and bags of clothing all over the place. So I just swing by, right by one, see a bag, stop, check it out, see what's in it. Here in Titusville, there's been one particular box that was overflowing, and opened the door, and it's stuff that was exactly my size and my style, and it's been an absolute blessing.
Wow. So I guess what you're in need of most is a job.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much, and you said, and there again, you said your skills were you were carpenter, then landscaping.
Landscape. I can do pretty much anything, but there's a process, and another man can do it. I'm pretty sure I can do it. I've either done it or done something similar to it.
Awesome. That's awesome. And you're physically healthy to do this work.
I am very physically healthy.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, listen.
Kind of ripped, actually.
Well, listen, I'm glad you spent a minute with us. Let us get to know you. And if you guys have a job out there, if anyone's a landscaper or a carpenter, or you just need somebody for some manual labor for a day or two, please don't hesitate to contact me on Facebook or send me a message on YouTube. I do return you guys' messages. I do appreciate them. And I'll get some contact information from Andrew here and make sure that, or Jason, I'm sorry, from Jason, and make sure that we get him the job if you have something to offer him. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'd ask you nicely if you can subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks a lot.